Well, good morning, friends, and welcome back to the cabin. I'll tell you what, got a lot of good responses off of the temperatures or the heat. It's been really hot here, and when it's really hot here, generally it's the humidity. Okay, because temperatures are pretty much the same around the country, I think, 80s, 90s. But when you get into humidity levels like ours, where it's up in the 80s and up into the 90s, when you combine that with high temps, it's almost, or is it, I'm just getting weaker as I get older. I don't know. I think I used to be tougher mentally, just didn't give up as easy. But anyway, gonna have to feed these chickens. We got some popcorn stuff we're giving them today that's been left over, and he's waiting to get in there and check it out. Momo, you want to see it? Huh? You want to go in and check it out? Huh? He's waiting. Well, I tell you, it's always nice when you land a little surprise like that. And like I've said before, just that few amount of chickens right there lays more eggs than I can eat. So I share them with Jennifer and Landon and Steven. So I share them with them, and we don't have to buy any eggs until they go on their sabbatical, because they don't lay all year round, but have to buy very few. Well, I got the eggs put up inside, so we're running down here to the workshop. I'm going to show you what I've got left to do. I was telling you the other day, I've got to move all of that material right there, keep what I'm going to keep and get rid of what I'm not going to, and get all that moved over there so we can finish these 2x10s. Then once these are finished, we'll get the flooring down, and to be honest with you, there's another row of floor joists that are going to go up there. But I don't have to work on that anytime soon. What I can do is get this first floor down, get all of the tools moved out of that old sawmill, get them down here, and kind of get them set up and get them put around where they're going to go. And then I can always work on that later, but that will give me a chance to tear down that old sawmill. Now, I was thinking that some of that material I could possibly use. The only thing is that when Jennifer and I put that up, a lot of the boards weren't all that long. So in order for me to use some of that, I could possibly use it in shelves, but to use it down here would just be a bunch of pieces to try to, mix and match and put together, and I don't want to do that. I'll just go fell a tree if I need to, or saw a bunch of those smaller logs that I have down there to finish the floor. Then the other thing that left to do as far as framing, starting right down in here, right about where that box of nails is sitting, there's going to be a set of steps that go up to the second floor. And it's going to go just by that beam right there. I can't get it too steep. That way we'll be able to walk up and down. We won't hit our head coming down. And like I've said before, that upper room would just be primarily to store stuff, because I don't intend on running up and down steps, having equipment up there as part of a functional part of the workshop. Let me just say it that way. So yeah, it'll just primarily be storage. That's why I don't really have to have it right now. But we are slowly getting this workshop put together because of, having to build a second homestead and all the different things that happen. And now it's a heat wave, trying to work our way through that. So there's the 2x10s that we got cut on the last video, and I believe that one. All right, this 2x10 right here does have some wane on the top of it. You can see it right there. But I still have enough to nail into. And as long as I put that, like I said before, about the second one from the end down there, I won't have to make a splice with my flooring, and I'll still be able to nail down into it, and I believe everything will be okay. But it takes a good sized tree to get a 2x10, probably around a 14 or 15 inch diameter log, because when you cut the top and the bottom and you square it off to make your cant, you're not left with a whole lot, because you have to get it cut square, right? So it takes a pretty good sized tree to do that. So I'm going to come out here in a little bit. I'm going to go through all that material. Like I say, we're going to get that moved, and I'm going to finish those 3 floor joists. I only need 3 to go back there. Then once that's done, I'm going to start working on the sheathing, but I don't have to be particular on it because I can just grab any log and bring it up here, because I've said this before as well. They don't have to be the same width. As long as they're the same width in the row, I can just put them from end to end. So one of them could be 4 inches wide, the other one could be 12 inches wide, you know, as long as you match them up end to end. And because it's primarily subflooring anyway, so once I get that down, then I can begin to move all these tools down there and kind of get them set up. That's really, really going to be nice, friends, because I've not had that since I've been working up here. You know, I don't know if you can tell or not, but the eye in the juice portion, the covering on the outside of those letters is starting to peel off. So at some point we may have to replace those or go up there and repaint them. Go ahead and peel that outer covering off. I did put polyurethane on them, but with this sun, it will wreak havoc on everything. Y'all notice those dead leaves in the trees? Got some dead leaves right up there in that sweet gum tree. Right there's a dogwood with dead leaves. There's another one right up there. Just some dead leaves in this bush right here. I don't know what kind that is. Right here is a very small beech tree. Got dead leaves in it. Here's another dogwood with some dead leaves. Poplar, I haven't noticed any poplars though that really have too many of what I'm talking about. Do you think that the cicadas could have done that? There's a possibility because we just got rid of them. As you'll notice, everything has kind of quietened down some, but I have begun to notice that, and I thought, what in the world, is there some sort of blight that is causing that? And it could have been those cicadas just before they left. They've been gone about 3 weeks now, I think, something like that. Somebody told me that they would leave in around the end of June, 1st of July. But if that's not it and you know what that is, please let me know, because I haven't noticed that before. We already picked 3 good-sized cucumbers out of there. She's got some good tomatoes coming on. We've already picked some peppers, and I can see some more hanging on that plant right there we're going to have to get. So I'm going to have to get down here and hoe that little garden. I told Jennifer, I said, it needs to be hoed about every 2 to 3 days. That's the way that Granny used to do it. Keeps the dirt aerated, and also when it does rain, the dirt goes down in there deeper instead of the ground getting hard and crusty and just, you know, kind of running across the top. So even though your children may be older, there's still a few things that you can teach them, and still a few things that I can learn too. Tell you something else I'm going to have to learn, and that is how to tile a shower, because she's still got the shower and the bathtub in her house down there that they refuse to come out and do it because it's not a very big job, I think, is their excuse. Anyway, looks like I'm going to have to go ahead and finish it before they can close the house, or close on the house. So I'm going to have to watch a bunch of YouTube videos and figure out how to do that, because that's not something that I have done before. Not something that I'm afraid to tackle, just something that I haven't done before. Of course, I can't guarantee her what it's going to look like when I'm done with it. You know the way everything else up here looks crooked. No, I'm teasing. I built with crooked lumber. But yeah, that's something that we're going to have to do. And she's also got a bathtub in there that has not been plumbed. I'll have to buy some tools for PEX. And if you know a good place that I can buy what is needed, you know, to cut it and crimp it and all that type of stuff, please let me know, because that's something else that I'm going to have to do for her. Anyway, I think once that's done, she's pretty much ready to close on the house. But those are the 2 major outstanding things that need to be done. Anyway, the rest of that will be done inside, where she does have air conditioning. I try to get everything done outside that I needed to do. So, like I say, if you know where I can get that material, please let me know. Well, one more thing. I just remembered the pastor had called me yesterday and wanted to know, did I have any oak up here? And I said, well, not really. I said, I've got pine, cedar, dogwood, and poplar. And he said he was wanting to build 4 columns that were like 10 inches square, so high to put lights in for the stage. And I said, well, one of the other members might have a log. I said, but it needs to be at least 1 or 2 years old. I said, that way hopefully it won't crack or split on you, you know, when you start building. But I told him, I said, I do have one, but I think it's on the bottom of the pile down here. I'm gonna run down here and check. That's just something that I don't have up here, is hardwood. If I remember right, it's in that far pile there on the left, underneath a bunch of other logs. This pile right here is just primarily post material. There is one good sized pine in there that I'll probably pull out to do some flooring with. As far as those others go, I could do the same thing with them because they just need to be the same width, like I said before. All of this right here is black walnut that came out from the clearing over there when we were getting ready to build Jennifer's house. And then right down here on the bottom is the oak. So I can bring the tractor down here, and if I move, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly 5, I could reach down there and grab that and pull it out. I'll just have to set them over there on the road and get to that one, set it over here where I'm standing, and then take all those and put them back on the pile. That log was given to me about 2.5, maybe 3 years ago. So it's been laying there long enough. I need to get it up off of the ground and get it milled up so that it doesn't rot. You know, that's just something, that's one of the reasons that I quit using wood to heat with, is because, like I said, I don't have anything up here as far as hardwoods. You know, I'm not going to burn the pine because of the tars that are in it. The dogwood doesn't grow big enough. The poplar burns up real quick, and the cedar, kind of the same thing. That's one of the reasons that we went totally propane up here, is because there's no hardwoods on this side. I was buying the hardwood, but the last time that I bought any, the stack was only about 3 foot high and 4 foot long, and it was in February, and I was getting down to the point where I thought, what am I going to do? So I decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and go propane and go with a gas stove. Y'all remember putting in the gas line? You remember I started out with some 100-pound tanks, but I thought, you know what, the older that I get, and if I don't have the ability to have the wood up here to burn it, and if it's going to be a problem to get it, then I'm going to have to go, you know, like I said, propane. So then that's when we decided to go ahead and put in the big tank, because you know, for one thing, the older that I get, it's going to be harder to come out here and get wood in, things like that, you know, in the wintertime every day. So I just decided to go ahead and go propane. That's the closest that I am to being on the grid, because we have our own solar. Soon we will have our own water, and the gas stove that I cook on in here, the refrigerator, and the heating stove are all on propane. So I don't have but minimal use on the propane. I've got minimal use on the power out there. And so here's the thing. If the sun quit shining and I didn't have any power, I could still cook, I could still refrigerate it, and I could still heat, right? So to speak. And if the gas went out, you know, as long as I had an electric plate or something that I could cook on, and maybe an electric heater, that might be something I think about getting in just in case of an emergency. But I kind of got the utilities spread out where it works really well, and I'm not too reliant on any one thing. But I do want to get the water put in here. Someone said something about putting in a line from Jennifer's well up here. Well, yes, I could do that. The only thing is they have recently put in a softening system, so it would cost me several $1,000s to put in a softening system on this end just to be able to use the water. I can spend that kind of money and get a rain catchment system put in and never have to worry about it anymore. So once that gets put in, then a storm shelter is kind of in the books or in the plans for the future, and possibly a kiln down there, and I think now another addition on the end of the workshop so that I can have a place to work up some of the logs that I get going on down there and still be able to be out of the sun. And another thing too, friends, we don't thank you enough for stopping by and hanging out with us. You know, it's really important. It's how we survive up here, you know, what we make off of YouTube and what I get off of Social Security. So thanks so much for supporting us and watching. We certainly do appreciate it. Y'all take care, and we look forward to seeing you back up here again.